Hello friends, I hope you are well. Today we are having ourselves a full garden day. We're gonna spend a lot of time pruning and also planning for the fall season, which I'm so looking forward to. We'll have to plan our fall garden and do lots and lots of research. I'm still new to this. This is my first garden season and we definitely learned a lot and we had some exciting moments but also discouraging moments, which I'm still kind of going through right now because our peppers, I'll show you an update, but they are not handling the summer heat very well, and even watering them every day, they just start to rot because it's so super hot. But anyways, we will take a peek and I'll give you the full update of what's been growing. And then I also want to harvest our rainbow carrots that we planted. It's been plenty of time, but it's sort of a mystery with carrots because most of the growing, well, where you see the actual carrot is under the soil. So we'll see what happened and see if anything's edible at this point. But I'm really excited to spend time with you all and spend time outside in the garden.
I prepare for something new. Whatever it was that held me back, I'm sure it wasn't true.
It is nice and toasty out here, currently 90 degrees, and I am just so curious about these carrots, so I want to go ahead and harvest them first. And I'm a bit apprehensive because I looked at the carrot seed packet and it said to harvest after 67 days of planting, after you planted them, and it's been like 65 days. So I think we should go ahead and do it because my concern is that I've let them grow or sit in the soil for too long, because I've been doing some research and it says the tops of the carrot roots will be about 3/4 to 1 inch in diameter and likely starting to pop out of the soil, though not necessarily. So there may even be carrots under there that I can't even see. We'll have to dig around a bit. And if you leave them in the soil too long, they begin to get woody and tough. And there's one over here I'll show you, and it kind of is popping out a bit and it looks quite woody and tough. So I don't know what to think, but we'll just have to go over and find out. Okay, here we go. It's over by the mint, the first one that's poking out. This one right here, but I see a bit of woodiness, so I don't know. Okay, here's our carrots. Anybody hungry? Oh no, it's not in focus. Ay, ay, ay. Well, it's a baby carrot. Here's what we get after 3 months of labor and love over this carrot. A little baby. Oh my goodness, that is so hilarious. We have a carrot feast for dinner. Let's see what the other one looks like. My expectations are definitely leveled. But you never know, Okay. Oh shoot. Okay, it's nothing. Do you think it's too early? I mean, it's been so long already, but oh my, maybe in the fall we'll have better luck. I was looking at the seed packet and it said that in September or August and September you can plant these again in my gardening zone, so that's good. But I mean, it's better than nothing, right? Like, it's better than nothing. Oh my goodness. Right after I'm feeling a little discouraged about our carrots, a cute little butterfly flutters its way into the garden. That's what I needed, just to see that sign of life and give me a bit of motivation. But here's our first season of planting carrots. Cheers to trying again and hoping for a more bountiful harvest next season.
What could have been a friendly smile has turned into a frown. I'm moving on.
B, do you want some carrots? baby carrots.
What the?
After 3 months.
Well, we should be on track. We're in 2025.
2025.
One carrot.
No, I think we're gonna have better luck in the fall.
Yeah, it's a little toasty.
I'm gonna be optimistic. Oh my goodness. Let's go ahead and give this biggest carrot a taste test though, because why not? It doesn't look that great. But Because I have to try it. It's part of the experience. Just like a carrot. Yeah. A really bitter carrot. A fresh garden carrot. Tasty?
Sweet is my location, sweet as well my destination. If you're looking to begin, then look no further than within. I'm satisfied with what I've got and still eager for more. The change that you've been looking for will come knock on your door. On and on, on and on,
We still have a few jasmine in bloom as well.
on and on, on and on. I'm moving on and on, on and on. I'm moving on and on. I'm moving on. I'm moving
We've cooled down a bit, and I also gave the garden some water, so hopefully it'll be nice and hydrated for the rest of the day. And it's also supposed to rainstorm later this afternoon, so hopefully it'll be nice and cool and keep growing. But I also just took some time to write down and think of any spring 2022 garden takeaways that I really want to learn from and grow from. And my biggest takeaway is to water more. I was absolutely being super stingy on the water at the beginning of the season because in my books and in my research I kept hearing, oh, it's way better to underwater than overwater. You don't want to like make sure your plants are flooding in too much water. So I really took that to heart, but I think I was a little too intense with that. I think my garden definitely would have benefited from a lot more water, especially the past couple of months as the heat rolled in. So that's a big takeaway. And especially with my raised garden beds, the soil dries out a lot quicker because it's not within the earth, and there's a lot more airflow and it can like seep through quicker. So yeah, it is kind of a balancing act because you don't want to overwater or underwater, but I'm pretty confident that I could give my garden a lot more water and it would benefit immensely from that. So that's a big takeaway. But of course in the fall season, that'll kind of vary a bit with the changing weather. So we're gonna keep learning. And then the second one is the carrots definitely needed more time, but I don't regret picking them today because I really did not know what to expect. I didn't even know if there would be anything under that little sprout. I didn't know if it would be rotted. I had no idea. So I'm glad we picked it, and now we know it needs a lot more time, and I'll wait till the diameter of the carrot top gets a bit wider. Now we know. And then another one is don't be afraid to pick the flowers in the prime of springtime. I love how they look in the garden bed, of course, but I definitely could have chopped some fresh flowers, put them in the kitchen, but I don't know why. I just thought maybe it would hurt the plant, but I actually think it would help it to grow quicker and maybe expand a bit more. So next season, I'm not gonna be afraid to pick some flowers. And then the last big takeaway is to start in May. I want to start my spring garden and planting and germination process in May because I think it would really benefit to have a bit more time, especially in my zone, in my garden zone within Florida, so that we have a bit more of the cool, breezy spring weather before we get the blistering heat later in the summer season. So those are my big takeaways, but it's been a beautiful summer season. And the beautiful aspect of Florida, I am a little discouraged right now because it's just so hot and everything gets so thirsty, but the really beautiful benefit of Florida is that we don't have to worry about frost or harsh winters as much. So that is encouraging that we have many, many more months to experiment and see what we can grow. But now I'm going to run some errands. So I wanna go pop by some garden centers and see what we can find. Something on my list that has been on my list for a while is milkweed. I would love to add milkweed to the garden because that is a huge attractor of butterflies, monarch butterflies, and I actually have some neighbors who have milkweed. So if we don't find any out and about today, hopefully they can share some seedlings with us and we can plant that soon because I would love to attract more butterflies, of course. It's been a cozy rainy afternoon ever since I got home from errands. So I lit a candle and started brainstorming some autumn garden inspiration and some vegetables that I hope to plant, and I started doing some research. So the main thing that's highlighted, I feel like, for fall and winter are those cold tolerant vegetables. So I wrote down broccoli, Brussels, lettuce, carrots, and hopefully we'll have better luck with those in the fall season. I definitely think the lettuce will do a lot better, and I'm going to water a lot more. And then the carrots, hopefully we'll have better luck with, and I've never tried Brussels or broccoli. So we'll map out the actual layout of where we'll plant everything a little closer in. I'll probably start planting in mid-August. I don't know. Still gotta do some research. But today, so we went on a couple errands. I went to this local flower shop and I found these precious garden scissors. How cute are they with the little handles, the flower petal handles? So the vision for these is I'm actually gonna put a nail in one of my wooden garden boxes in the back, and then I'm gonna hang these from the garden box. So whenever I go out there and I need to just snip something super quick, I'll have easy access to scissors. So I love that, and it's kind of a cute little touch. And they're stainless steel, so hopefully they'll be tolerant of all the weather and rain. So we'll see, but I love that. I love that find. And then I also was on the hunt for milkweed, didn't find any, but I messaged one of my neighbors and I'm gonna go pick up some milkweed from their house tomorrow. They have plenty of seeds and seedlings, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick those up, and then I'm gonna catch up with you guys once I have the milkweed. And then I also ordered this planter for the water feature that we have in the backyard. So we're gonna have like a whole butterfly garden session because those two aspects of the garden are specifically for the butterflies. We're doing it for the butterflies to hopefully provide more food and resources for them. So the milkweed will be the food, and then the water source is, they need water. They need fresh water as well. So the whole reason I bought this water source, it is very lovely and a beautiful addition to the backyard oasis, but I really wanted it for the butterflies because they need running water. They don't like still water. They need like the fresh running water. So that's the plan. But thank you so much for spending time with me today, and I'll catch up with you soon for part 2 of our gardening adventure. Welcome to gardening day 2. We've had some incredibly exciting developments since we last spoke. The first and foremost development that I'm most excited about we have caterpillars. We have milkweed, we have caterpillars, and butterflies are on their way, hopefully, if everything goes well. So I mentioned I was really hoping to find milkweed because that is such a treasure to pollinators and butterflies, and I knew I really wanted to create the butterfly garden and oasis. So one of my really sweet neighbors, he gave me so much milkweed and so many milkweed seeds. So I was able to plant a few little seedlings and sprouts in one of our garden beds, and then I have a whole other plant that I want to distribute within the beds, and then also the water feature planter project I'm working on. So I'll show you more details, but essentially I planted a few of them in, and I did notice some eggs on the bottom of the leaves when he did give me the plants, so that was exciting, but I really wasn't expecting to get caterpillars or any sort of action so soon. But here we are, we have caterpillars, and as I was monitoring them, I posted a little Instagram story of them, and a few people really recommended me to take some of them inside and monitor them and help make sure that they have everything they need and that they're able to grow, because of course other creatures like to eat alligators, caterpillars, so which is fine, the circle of life, but we are really trying to support the butterfly population. And I specifically think these are monarch caterpillars, but I am not 100% sure. We'll be able to tell better in a few days when they get bigger and we can sort of take a closer look at their coloring and features, but I'll show you what they look like. So this is the temporary little home I have for them, but I also ordered a net for them to hang out in, so once that arrives I'll transfer them over. But basically what I'm gonna do, this isn't just you can't just leave them in here and not tend to them. Essentially, you need to switch out the napkin at the bottom and clean their poop. I'll show you, they have so much poop. Here, instead of looking at me, let me give you a view of the caterpillars themselves, the real star of the show. So all of those little dots are the caterpillar waste because they eat so much, so therefore they have a lot of waste. But you see those little cuties? They're just munching away, having the time of their life. And someone also told me that their poop is actually great for soil. So once I clean out the jar, I'll dump it back in the garden so that we can soak up the extra nutrients. But this has already been a very exciting adventure, and I'm really hopeful that they'll continue to grow and be nice and healthy, and that'll be so special once we get to release them. So for today's agenda, we are going to, of course, work on our butterfly oasis and water feature. That'll be the main project of the day because I finally found a planter that I love for the water feature, and we're gonna add plants, rocks, moss, all these different elements to make it a cozy spot for the butterflies and pollinators, so that'll be great. And then I also want to hammer in a nail into our wooden garden boxes to hang our new flower scissors so that those will always be out there nice and convenient. And then I also want to plant some more milkweed because, as I mentioned, my neighbor gave me a ton of seeds. So I really want to start planting so it can grow because clearly these caterpillars eat a lot. So we'll do that. And then the last thing, if we have time, I would love to redo my front door basket because the one we currently have is falling apart, unfortunately. So if we have time for that, that would be great to give it a little refresh. But excited to do these projects with you. Got our iced latte fuel, and let me show you everything that I have for the water feature. So I've shared this many times in the vlogs, but this is our water feature. It's not currently running, so it's solar powered. So sometimes if the solar panel doesn't have enough charge, it'll stop running, but I actually feel like I need to add more water since it's been so hot. It probably is running a little low. So I'll add more water, and then I bought okay, this is our milkweed. This is the big milkweed plant that my neighbor gave me. So generous, and it's already, I saw a caterpillar on it the other day. I don't see it currently. There was only one, but I also had a few other seedlings that I planted in the garden. But another reason why I needed to move them out of this garden box is because there's barely any leaves left because they ate them all. This one has the most leaves, but when I first planted them, they had a lot more leaves. So we'll have to add some seeds to hopefully grow some more food for the caterpillars. But thankfully we have this big plant as well, which will hopefully provide a lot of food for them. And then we also have some growing at the bottom. So hoping for the best. And then I also picked up this moss on my morning walk this morning. I thought it could be pretty to add to the water feature area. This is Spanish moss that fell from an oak tree nearby. So we might use that, we'll play around. And then I have some marigolds and some other flowers that we'll add around the water feature. And then I'm gonna put rocks at the base so that you don't see any of the plastic basin. So that's a rundown, but I'm excited to see how it comes together. Also, I've been keeping my sea grape plant out in the open so that when it rains, it can get some natural rainwater. And it is so happy. Typically, I keep it in that corner over there, but I might have to keep it here always because it is thriving. It has so many new leaves and growth. I definitely need to water it more in the spring and fall and winter because it definitely thrives with a more moist soil and some fresh rainwater. Added some cardboard and paper to the bottom just to sort of fill in the space because I'm going to be filling all of this with soil, but it's just helpful to have some fillers so that we don't have to use too much soil. Okay, here's the mock layout, and then I would add in some moss on this empty side where I have the cord to the solar panel. I think it looks really pretty, and then I would put rocks. Oh, I just touched a cactus, oops. Then I would put rocks along the drainage, which I can go ahead and do now. It'll probably be easiest to do that now, and then I'll start planting everything. Here's our finished water feature butterfly oasis. I love how it turned out. I think it looks super cute. The water did get a little milky as I started pouring the rocks in, so I wish I rinsed off the rocks beforehand because they were quite dusty. So the water isn't looking so clear, but I'll filter it out as time goes. But we have some succulents, cactus, our Spanish moss, and then we have a variety of annual flowers and some aloe vera. And then I also have, where is it? Oh yeah, back here I have some milkweed buds. So I decided, I was thinking of planting some of this big milkweed we have over here within the pot, the water feature pot. But I'm actually gonna save this because I ordered a net for the butterflies, and I'm gonna just put this whole plant within the net so they have a lot of space and leaves to eat. So we'll save this, but I'll continue to grow some milkweed so that we can add it into the water feature and the garden beds as time goes on. I'm gonna start planting planting some seeds. So this is our lineup. I have these I want to plant. I think I'm just going to plant these directly in our flower bed, and then this lettuce, baby greens mix, I want to plant in one of these propagation planters or pots, because then we can transfer it over easier once we establish our beds for autumn. And then I'm also going to plant some milkweed directly into our flower bed, and then also some of these flowers in lavender. So we have quite the mix, so I'll spread it out and disperse it with what makes sense. The milkweed seeds are so interesting. They're so light and almost hollow. After some additional research, I decided not to start a little propagation station for the lettuce, because it's actually recommended to sow directly and transplanting is not recommended. So I'm gonna hold off on that. But our last project of the day, oh, special surprise visitor.
We are just going to work.
I know,
out
we've
here.
been out here for a long
Love the
time, but
fun.
we're having fun. And our last project of the day is redoing our door basket, our flower, no, it's not really a flower basket, because, okay, this is the current one. And these are faux flowers, and these just have seen better days. I am gonna keep this succulent because it's doing really well, and then these string of bananas are really thirsty, but they're still kicking it, some of them. So I'm gonna transfer this over to this new basket that's a lot more sturdy and durable, because this one is on its last leg. It's hanging by a thread practically. So I think this will be more durable. And I added a plastic bag to the bottom so that the soil won't seep through as much, and when I water it, it won't make as big of a mess. Ta-da! Here is the finished product. It definitely could use a few more plants. It could look a little more filled in, but I'm hoping these will grow as time goes on. I added some of the plants that I've been propagating. So we have some pothos, and then I also added a bunny ear cactus that I just took a clipping from the one I have over here in the middle of our coffee table. So hopefully that'll do okay, but we're experimenting and we're seeing what we can do. I'm always so inspired by a day in the garden. Even as I was planting all of those flower seeds, it's just so awe-inspiring to see how each one is so different from the next. And hopefully, I mean, it's just been so, even though we haven't had the most bountiful season, it really has been so inspiring to see these plants persevere and grow. And the caterpillars, don't even get me started about the caterpillars potentially turning into a butterfly. It all is just so fascinating and incredible, and any time spent outside seems like such a day well spent. So really thankful for today and really thankful for you. Thank you for spending time with me. I'll keep you updated on the caterpillars, the garden, and everything in the vlogs, but I love you all and cannot wait to see you next.